Hey guys, and welcome to my bookshelf tour. My bookshelf is very small, so we're just gonna get started. First we have The Foxhole Court, or All for the Game. Um, and I absolutely love this series so much. I'm sorry if the camera is a little shaky. I'm using my phone. I don't have technology. And so anyway, love the series, love the characters, all of the characters, like the foxes anyway. The foxes are all of my children. I love them all so much, and this is just a very good series. And if you haven't read it, you totally should. Moving on, we have the second Trials of Apollo book. The first one is right there. But I'm not going to talk about those until I get to the first one, so I'm going to talk about Magnus Chase instead. I honestly never thought I would see Alex Fierro, a gender fluid character, in a book meant for middle schoolers. So that was great. And no, like, I won't spoil anything, but I never thought that, like, my favorite ship would become canon. And that happened in Ship of the Dead, and I was just screaming because, honestly, Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard is just everything that I would want a Norse mythology series to be. And then finally, we have Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. You may be like, hey, why is that on a book of Rick Riordan books? Why is that on top of a stack of Rick Riordan books? And that's just because I liked the all-whiteness of the spines on the stack of books. So I decided that since these weren't uniform, that it belonged on this stack of books. And Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda is really good. And I definitely recommend that too if you're interested in contemporary. And it's coming. It's going to be a movie. Look, there's a sticker and everything. Love Simon. I hope it's going to be really good. I've mentioned that before, but I'm going to say it again just because I'm desperately hoping it's going to be good. Behind this, since, I don't have room to put those properly on my bookshelf, is Les Mis, and the Iliad, the Song of Achilles, the Alexander the Great series that Mary Renault wrote, and then then we have Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And it's the new spines. I love the spine. It's New York, but it's the sea, and it's like lightning. I love it. But anyway, I have these grouped together because these two are classics. These two are related to each other. Alexander the Great loved the Iliad, and this is about mythology, and this is about, these are about mythology. Not these. This is about real people. But these two and this are both about Greek mythology. So, and then we have the Heroes of Olympus series, the first two books anyway. I don't own all of them. And then we have the first book of Trials of Apollo. Now, Trials of Apollo, I'm going to talk a little bit about because I just love the fact that, again, in a middle grade book, we have a canonically gay relationship with Will and Nico, and then in this one we have a canonically lesbian relationship, which is great because they also have a child, and honestly, it's just amazing. I love both of these books. My favorite is probably the Hidden Oracle. Oh, yeah, my favorite out of those is the Son of Neptune. No, it's the Hidden Oracle because I just love Camp Half-Blood and I love returning to it, and I love Apollo's narration. Again, a middle grade book has a bisexual narrator who isn't in the closet or anything. He's very open about his bisexuality. Anyway, moving on from that, we have Good Omens, and that is a very good book too. I definitely recommend reading it. It's hilarious. And I'm pretty sure you'll love it if you read it. Then we have the last two books of the Raven Cycle. I'm not sure why they go this way instead of this way, but when I put them there, I must have thought about something. So if you haven't read the Raven Cycle, definitely read the Raven Cycle. It's so good. Maggie Stiefvater's, I think that's how you pronounce her last name anyway, she is a amazing writer, and I love her writing style, and her world is great and just amazing. Then we have the Harry Potter books. I'll move my clock too so you can properly see all of them. I again don't have all of them. I don't have, the only series I have all of is All for the Game, Magnus Chase, and then the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Mainly because I borrowed the books when I was reading them from everybody else, so I didn't have to buy them. So that's why I don't have a complete series of some of these. Next, we go down to the second shelf, which are books I'm not as passionate about. Like any of these books. Okay, The Lost Dogs definitely is a good read. It's about Michael Vick's dogs, and it's just heartbreaking. But if you're not into it, like, definitely don't read it. Then we got, these are all my dog books, because I love dogs, and I love reading books about dogs, or at least I did when I was younger. So I have all, these are this is books you can read to your dog. 3 stories you can read to your dog. Then we have Inside of a Dog. Actually haven't read this. I got it for a birthday present, and I haven't read it. But, you know, maybe I will one day. Bad Dogs Have More Fun, and Marley and Me. Marley and Me was like the first, like, I want to say, like, not aimed at, like, I was in middle school when I read Marley and Me, and it was like the first not middle grade book that I read. And then, like, the other story is by the same author, which is called Bad Dogs Have More Fun. And then we have White Fang, which, you know, wasn't assigned to me. I just wanted to read it for some reason. And, I mean, it's okay if you like Jack London's writing style. I actually think I prefer Call of the Wild to White Fang. But, both of them, if you like classics, go for it. We have another copy of the Iliad, which is a trash copy of the Iliad. That's why it's on the second shelf, not the first. The reason why I have 2 copies of the Iliad, I used to have 3, but I gave one to somebody and they never gave it back. But I lost my first copy of the Iliad on a plane, and then I ordered one thinking it was the one that I lost on the plane, but it was this monstrosity instead. This monstrosity tries to make the Iliad into prose. It's not prose. It's an epic poem for a reason. Don't try to make it into prose. They also call the characters, like, really weird names, and it's just not good. And then we have The Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare that I had to read for a class. Then we have Murder on the Orient Express, which was made into a movie, so I actually need to read this book. I got it for a Christmas present. It was actually part of where I got this. This is also a Christmas present. It was like a Doctor Who themed Christmas present, and they mentioned Murder on the Orient Express. Which, speaking of, this says, in 900 years of time and space, I've never met anyone who wasn't important. The 11th Doctor, who is right here, getting in the way of things. He has a little mop. And then we have a little weeping angel, too. And then over here, we have The Witch of Edmonton, which is a play I had to read for theater history. Then we have all of these Terry Pratchett books that my friend let me borrow, and I haven't read yet. So, yeah, need to read those, because Terry Pratchett, I hear, is amazing. I haven't read any of his work, but I need to. Then behind that, we have The Hunger Games, which is good. If you like dystopian YA stuff, this is the book. This is like the book series that basically, like, started it, I think. And it's pretty good. Fault in Our Stars, it's okay. Definitely one of John Green's better books, though. Well, Grayson is my favorite book that John Green wrote, because it also is written by David Leviathan, I think is how you say his last name, or Levithan. Who knows? Not me. So that's my favorite book that he's collaborated with. Looking for Alaska is my least favorite, as you know, if you've seen any of the videos that I've posted earlier. And Abundance of Catherines is my second to least favorite. And then My copy of Paper Towns is with my mom, but I do have a copy of Paper Towns, and that's my second favorite / third least favorite. And then we have The Book Thief, which I really need to read because I haven't actually read it. I got it for Christmas, and not this year, but like years ago when the movie first came out, because I was like, I'm going to read it before I see the movie. Still haven't seen the movie, still haven't read the book. I need to do that because I hear it's amazing. And we also have The Woman in Black, which I had to read for theater, and we have The Backstage Handbook, which is basically a book that, because I want to go into technical theater, it has all of the definitions of everything I could ever want to know in here. And then finally, we have this little book that I got for Christmas one year called Why You're So Awesome. And I read it when I'm sad, and it makes me feel better. Now you may be wondering, that's only 2 shelves. You have a 3-shelf bookcase. What's on the 3rd shelf? Mainly random shit. So over here is my playbills. If you can see under that, yeah, there's my stack of playbills. And that's Cards Against Humanity shit. And then I have Doctor Who postcards, my old phone, some buttons, magazines, and coloring books. So that is my bookshelf tour. Let me see if I can get all of it. Well, you got the important stuff in it. You don't really need that 3rd shelf in there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. It turned out longer than I expected. But I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. Bye, guys.